guess my biggest obstacle was around verbal. I guess
Mm-hmm.
my quants has been strong as like given my engineering background.
Mm-hmm.
I was good with quants. But verbal, I guess cat maybe in cat also verbal was the difficult part, which
Mm-hmm.
like pulled me down. I was nervous like whenever verbal like I was really nervous when like the verbal questions used to come.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my biggest obstacle, I guess. When
Mm-hmm.
I like used e-GMAT, okay, I thought like, okay, this is a game changer because pre-thinking geometry. So first I started with I CAT and ZAT. I gave those exams, but those didn't go like very well. I didn't get my target scores. Last my push program was the best part of e-GMAT. I
Mm-hmm.
would say that. As well. We used to get on weekly calls, used to like ask, okay, Neha, just tell me how is it going? Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's see your data. And like I remember like I used to say like, yeah, Rashmi, I'm not feeling confident, my mock did not go well. And
Mm-hmm.
then you used to show my scholarinium data that okay, that here you started with this and you are here, your average time is also decreasing, so
Mm-hmm.
you are good.
Hi Neha, how you
Hi
doing?
Rashmi, I'm good. How about
So
you?
I'm good too. A big, big, big congratulations to a very hard-earned 685 on your recent GMAT. And
Thank you so much. Really
and
happy.
yes, I can see that. I know, when you called me after the score, it was just palpable your joy when you did get the score. And as I said, I know it is a very, very hard-earned score, right? Uh, so congratulations again. And I know the
Thank you so
journey
much.
hasn't been easy, right? So tell us, how does it feel to be finally here? And what were your biggest obstacles to the score?
Okay, so first let me introduce myself. So I'm Neha Sharma. I'm a 24-year individual. I have been born and brought up in Kolkata. I have graduated from NIT Durgapur. I did BTech in Information Technology, and currently I'm working as a software engineer too with Verizon, and I
Mm-hmm,
have a 3 years of experience.
mm-hmm,
Okay, so I started with I have been working since 3 years and I didn't feel the right fit for me. So
mm-hmm,
that time I decided, like, since I think around 1 year ago, I decided to pivot my career. And after exploring a few options, I thought that, yeah, I want to do MBA. I want to
mm-hmm,
pursue MBA. So first I started with I CAT and ZAT. I gave those exams, but those didn't go like very well. I didn't get
mm-hmm,
my target scores.
mm-hmm,
So like I guess around January end, I thought to like go ahead with GMAT.
mm-hmm,
So after a month, I did self study. I started with self studying for a month. By around February end, I guess I found that self study is getting a bit difficult with
mm-hmm,
like office, and you have personal things as well
mm-hmm,
with that. And GMAT requires like some strategies like which is difficult to like figure out on your own, and content like quality, or you need content like to
mm-hmm,
prepare good quality. So that is why that is when I thought I was looking for some options to like
mm-hmm,
help me. And one of my friend recommended that, yeah, you can like go ahead with e-GMAT. They have like really rich content
mm-hmm,
and like good videos and everything to
mm-hmm,
guide you. So that's when I like started with my e-GMAT journey,
mm-hmm,
and it was great. So as you asked about my obstacles, I guess my biggest obstacle was around verbal. I guess
mm-hmm,
my quants has been strong as like given my engineering background.
mm-hmm,
I was good with quants. But verbal, I guess cat maybe in cat also verbal was the difficult part, which
mm-hmm,
like pulled me down.
mm-hmm,
So and one of the reasons why I chose e-GMAT was because of its verbal. Like if you go online and see, it has like the verbal of e-GMAT has some stellar reputations, like
mm-hmm,
very good reviews and all. So that's why I chose verbal. And that's why I chose e-GMAT,
mm-hmm,
and yeah, I started with verbal. So I was nervous like whenever verbal like I was really nervous when like the verbal questions used to come.
mm-hmm.
So that was my biggest obstacle, I guess.
Good. I hope we lived up to your expectation when it comes to verbal scores.
Definitely,
That's
definitely.
very good to know. Neha, I know, yes, verbal was one of the biggest obstacles. The second thing was, of course, coming from a string of competitive exams, you always had that mindset issues that you needed to deal with. And also, I think, given that data insights was pretty new, that is another section that was it was always the challenges with the unknown kind of a field when it comes to DI. So let's
Right.
talk about each one of them. Uh,
Okay.
so you said verbal, you had a sort of a phobia, is what I heard when you said you used to get nervous while solving verbal. Uh, so so we started at the basics when it came to verbal, right? We started out with master comprehension,
Right.
which basically tackles how to hit the comprehension head on. So tell us, what value did that have in finally sorting you and putting you on the right path towards verbal confidence and improvement?
Right. So I guess I'll start with my whole journey regarding
Mm-hmm,
the verbal. So I started with master comprehension. When I started, it was like I thought that it is some basic things,
mm-hmm,
but I realized it later on after completing the whole master comprehension and as I moved ahead that those were some like building blocks, like
mm-hmm,
foundations, which one
mm-hmm,
needs to like have a good hold on verbal. And
mm-hmm,
someone whose verbal is weak, I think like yeah, they should definitely don't they should not definitely skip the master comprehension part. So like for example, one thing in master comprehension was the importance of pause points.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
when we read a long sentence, we don't, if we go and like read the whole sentence, we forget like what was mentioned in the beginning. We don't grasp. Even after we read, we like end up rereading it again. So the importance of pause points help me to like in one read, I to understand what's written, actually written, like
mm-hmm,
pausing at the specific pointers, like okay, and grasping what's written, what's
mm-hmm,
actually written, and retaining those things. So that is where master comprehension like really helped me. After that, if I move ahead to critical reasoning became critical reasoning was there in ZAT as well. So
mm-hmm,
I knew what was critical reasoning. But when I prepared for that, it was just like, yeah, I did not prepare it with a strategy.
mm-hmm,
When I used e-GMAT, okay, I thought like, okay, this is a game changer because pre-thinking jumped in.
mm-hmm,
I knew, okay, now this is how to tackle critical thinking. So pre-thinking is something where you need to, one needs to, like whoever doesn't know, one needs to after reading the question stem, you should first think, give it a few seconds and think
mm-hmm,
like, okay, what to expect in the answer. So when I started doing this, mostly before jumping onto this question options, I used to know what to expect in the option. Slowly, like initially this process used to take a bit of time,
mm-hmm,
but I believed in it, and as I proceeded, like this became a natural thing to me. And like I usually used to know, okay, this is this option will be there for sure
mm-hmm,
around
mm-hmm,
something like this. So yeah, critical pre-thinking was a game changer in critical thinking. And then coming to reading comprehension, I think the master comprehension played a major role in reading comprehension
mm-hmm,
as well.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Though there were some like really, I think 7 strategies are there in reading
mm-hmm,
comprehensions, which you need to master on to master in reading comprehension. So those strategies I used, and I was like, it was easy to handle hard level RCs as well with
mm-hmm.
ease.
Got it.
So
Yes. So we were discussing a while earlier, the amount of effort that you have put into building, the foundation followed by practice, which really gave you, I wouldn't say you were not great at verbal. You started out great, but there was that level of confidence that was lacking, the ability to choose an answer choice for the right reasons and be confident about it. But you did invest a whole lot in developing the right kind of skills to really do well on GMAT Verbal. I have a small little image to show our viewers here. It is to say that even when somebody is completely sold out with something, there are still areas of skepticism. And I think with reading comprehension, that is what I say. That's what I see. What I see in this graph is that initially your grades weren't too great when you started reading comprehension. You can see your grade here is a C. But then having realized, I'm sure the initial set of files, you were like, okay, what's happening? I don't understand. But once you went through that, you were sold out with the whole strategy, and that is how you improved to a brilliant score there.
Yeah, I want to jump in over here. So actually, when I started the reading comprehension, I did not do the master comprehension course, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I did not have you at that time to guide. I started with me. Like, of course, I started with the course. Okay, I started
Mm-hmm.
randomly with this reading comprehension. But then, when like with the program, the last mile push program, you asked me to go in a structured manner, and I started with the master comprehension again.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I came back to RC, it was a game changer, and that is visible with my grades as well. So the next
Yes.
levels were done after I did the master comprehension, and the first one I did before I did the master comprehension. That's why you could see, like anyone can see the difference.
That's very nice. What I hear you tell is there is one, some things that you need to have in place to do well in verbal is first things comprehension. You need to understand what is happening to be able to solve it well. Second is have set kind of processes to be able to solve a question, be it pre-thinking in C or reading strategies in RC. At the same time, have a proper structure to how you develop these processes, right? So these three key components are important to really prepare well for verbal. Right.
Right.
So, Neha, I know that after this, moving on to DI, wherein you got a D82, which is the 94th percentile, this was not a topic which you had prepared earlier at all, right? This was a
Right.
completely new area of, um, you know, questions or topics which you had to tackle head on. So tell us, how did you go about getting to that 94th percentile in DI? What when you did start, you have taken a few marks before you know, started with the preparation. So, what were the challenges that you encountered while doing DI then, and how did you then go about using the course to really up your DI game?
Right. So, as I mentioned earlier, that first month I started to prepare alone. I did self-study.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, I did not know that DI was a combination of verbal and quant. So
Mm-hmm.
my quants was strong, but my verbal was like I was not very much confident. So
Mm-hmm.
that is why in DI, some portions, like for example, MSR or say two-part analysis, I
Mm-hmm.
was faltering over there.
Mm-hmm.
But then you made me realize that, okay, you need to first like complete your verbal course to be good in DI. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that was one thing which helped me to like those were some new topics like two-part analysis,
Mm-hmm.
MSR, data sufficiency, all those were new things. So that is what one thing which helped me that okay, I need first like I need to be good in verbal and then I
Mm-hmm.
will move to data insights.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for data insights, I guess if I pick up one topic, say data sufficiency. So data sufficiency, I started. Like e-GMAT helped me to go again in a structured manner,
Mm-hmm.
where you don't need to like up straight away go to the statement one and statement two and like see if it's like they are sufficient or not.
Mm-hmm.
First go to the statement one and then like first read the state question stem, then exactly note down what is being asked and then jump
Mm-hmm.
to statement one. If statement one is sufficient, then a and a or d will be the answer. So like the structured way, egmat helped me to how tackle data sufficiency in a structured way, so that like I'll be able to reach out to the correct answer as well as reduce my time.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
And
Hmm.
MSR, I guess MSR was similar to RC. So once
Mm-hmm.
I had a good hold on RC, my MSR also improved as well.
Got it. So, it's also one of the issues that students encounter a lot when it comes to data insights is inability to solve the questions in that specific 45 minutes when it comes to data insights,
Right.
right? Uh, so how did you overcome that? Did you ever face those challenges? How did the course equip you to be able to finish? Because I know towards the end there were no timing issues or anything with data insights.
Yeah, data insights, I think I did not personally like feel any issues with the timing. Or me, I think one, two times I had where I had to guess like last
Mhm.
question, last one or two questions. But majorly I did not face an issue. But I guess MSR used to take a lot of time sometimes.
Mhm.
So one thing I would suggest is sometimes MSR you will face like a difficult MSR might come. So if
Mhm.
that's the case, I would say what I used to follow is that I used to like give a specific time for MSR, like say
Mhm.
beyond 7 minutes or max to max 8 minutes. I used to
Mhm.
not go beyond that. If I am spending a lot of time in the MSR, like it's three questions, I will end up giving like investing less time in the next questions, which is
Mhm.
coming later on. So that is what I used to do. If the MSR I think it's a tough one, I used to like not go beyond a particular time. I used to
Mhm.
guess and I used to move forward, and then I used to come back later on the MSR. So that is the one thing I used to follow. Otherwise, I guess data insights, I personally did not face much timing issue with
Got it.
data insights.
Got it. I see. I'm thinking one of the reasons for that again is the kind of effort that you invested into learning the right skills. Okay,
Right,
and this is where I know that we were looking at your TPA journey, and what comes across is brilliant stats here again, right? All A grades, and this can be seen in the kind of improvement that we see when it comes to hard questions in, you had initial hiccups when it comes to medium, but hard, you did brilliantly. This is 70% in standard timing, which is a brilliant timing. And you can see the kind of timing you had, 2.34 seconds. So this is really good. So, some things come naturally to you, but that behind that, things that come naturally, there is a whole lot of practice and a strategic approach. And this particular thing that we just saw now goes to uh, tell us about the kind of effort that you put in to get to a stage wherein timing was not an issue anymore, right?
right.
Yes.
Right. Because you were showing the stats, I just remembered like why I had such a great fall in the medium questions. So I remembered I gave it, like I was really tired that day and I had a busy day from office, but I knew that I had to study.
Mm-hmm.
I had put myself in such pressure that I can't skip a day. So I
Mm-hmm.
sat at, I guess, 1 a.m. that day and I was doing cementing quizzes. But as you can see, like it did not go well.
Yeah.
So that time like you made me realize that please stop taking quizzes at this time of the hour if you're not in like the full mindset of that. So, yeah,
Yeah, so 100 points to the motivation, to the desire to do, give your, uh, to ensure that you don't miss out a day on preparation. But to all of yours here, do not take a quiz of a consequence, be it, your cementing quiz, be it your mocks, when you don't feel up to it. You need to be in the right kind of mindset to do that.
right,
And we can see the difference, right? The very next day you took hard quizzes and you did fantabulously well on them. So
right,
that's very nice. And I know that towards the end, we were more or less very confident about DI. DI was something that we didn't have to worry about at all, right? Now, coming to quants, quants was a completely different story. You started out strong with quants, you were confident with quants. Um, so we took a very different approach to quants, wherein you did not do the course as such, but you did something called cementing, wherein you directly went and took medium and hard quizzes uh, to be able to assess your ability and validate your ability. So, do you want to take us through the process that we used for quants?
right. So for quants, I remember like we planned to give quizzes. So
Mm-hmm.
and be in touch. Like I was going through the verbal course, and in like on weekends, I used to like give quizzes for quants so that I do not
Mm-hmm.
lose touch with it.
Mm-hmm.
And like here I guess cementing played a great role.
Mm-hmm.
As I like proceeded with the quizzes, there was like good scores, but sometimes like it used to drop
Mm-hmm.
to 85%. But like I had the target to get a really good score in cons, because to make up if I like my verbal does not go like does not
Mm-hmm.
in my like GMAT, if my verbal does not go well, then I need to make up that in quants. So I wanted a good score in quants. So here we like did cementing.
Mm,
to validate if my skills are really in place, like all my concepts should be crystal and clear, so that
mhm,
I do not lose any like points on any question.
mhm, mhm,
So after giving cementing quizzes, I realized that I was lagging in number properties.
mm,
So that is what I remember, that yeah, so number properties I had to focus on some areas. Those were like the weak areas that were which were pulling me down.
mhm,
So here comes another feature of like e-GMAT, which I really liked, which
mhm.
it pace feature,
Yes.
where there are some quizzes in the beginning which you give to for the algorithm to identify what your weak areas and strong areas are.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
after I gave the quiz, it only highlighted the videos regarding the weak areas.
Yeah.
All the I did not need to cover all the full course. Instead, I could just watch those particular videos, and
Mhm,
it really did help. I was feeling much more confident after watching those particular videos in the number
mhm.
properties.
Got it. So, you mentioned number properties was your area of weakness, what we identified through cementing quizzes. But what I want to show you is, despite number properties being your weaker area, what you can see is, thanks to PACE, you saved over 15 hours of your prep time, right?
Right.
Which is a huge saving. So this ensure that you're not spending time on things that you already know, but are focusing that time on learning things which are your weaker areas. And the proof of this we can very clearly see in this particular graph, wherein when it comes to number properties and when we look at your first block level accuracy there, you can see that this helped you improve from a 68% to a 100% accuracy, while at the same time helping you save a whole lot of time. Your per question attempt went down to less than 2 minutes, 1 minute, 42 seconds, actually, which is brilliant. So I think this goes to show that you need a very customized approach, to be able to get your target score. It's not one size fits all. And it is important to assess what strengths are, what weaknesses are, and knowing what strategies to follow where, right? Uh, so now, Neha, coming to customized strategy. I know you've been a part of the Last Mile Push program, and we've worked for quite some time through this program. So can you tell us what value the program added to your prep and how it really helped you get to the score
I
that you
think
had?
last mile push program was the best part of e-GMAT. I
Mm-hmm,
would say that. One like I got a really supportive mentor as you. Like all the while you helped me like look into the things which I missed.
mm-hmm,
I did not feel alone in the journey. I
mm-hmm,
was like someone is there who cares about my goals as like with me, someone who cares about my goal as well, apart from me, I mean.
mm-hmm,
So, like you gave me the confidence. You like, for example, now you were pulling up those data to validate what I'm saying. You used to do that with our journey as well. We used to get on weekly calls. Used to like ask, okay, Neha, just tell me how is it going? Like,
mm-hmm,
let's see your data. And I remember I used to say like, yeah, Rashmi, I'm not feeling confident. My mock did not go well.
mm-hmm,
And then you used to show my Scholaranium data that okay, that here you started with this and you are here, your average time is also decreasing, so
mm-hmm.
you are good, you just need to reflect that in mock.
Yes.
So you were there the whole time. I think I could not have done without you, the progress I did it to like partly your success as well, not only mine alone. So yeah, last mile push program is a really great initiative by GMAT, where any student gets a mentor to guide through their whole journey. And yeah, so it was a really good experience.
It was a pleasure working with you too. So I think this is a nice segue to the third biggest challenge that you had in your journey. We spoke about verbal, we spoke about DI. The third challenge was the mindset, because you were coming off having written some competitive exams, and here was another competitive exam, and there was always that fear of maybe not being able to score well given your earlier not so great performances, right? And that sort of posed some challenge during the last days of the prep. Tell us how you finally overcame that on the test day when it mattered the most.
So yeah, I remember like my last few mocks, like in the last week, I was giving mocks and I did not get a very good score. I was still scoring like 655 or 665. We got on a call and like my mindset thing, I guess you really helped me do that as well. I remember you told me like it's not everyone who has scored 100 percentile even. They also have been, their journey was also not so
Mhm.
smooth, so there
Mm.
has been hiccups for them as well. So like so that thing, I think mindset, I did not stop believing in me. You
Mm.
asked me like, okay, you have hard like worked hard a lot, let's see where you are. Like I guess my last two mocks before my GMAT exam, I got a 685, so that gave me a boost. So when I went to the test center, it was really good. So
Mhm.
I did not want any, so I went before time. I think I reached the center around
Mhm.
9:20. I did not want any, disturbances due to
Mhm.
like me arriving late. So yeah, I went there and the process was really smooth. And because I was before time, so they asked me to that, yeah, you can start the exam before, because once I enter the test center, I
Mhm.
can't delay starting it. uh, they gave they provide us with the noise cancellation headphones, but the test center was really quiet, so I did not need to use it. And that day I went with mindset that okay, let's see, whatever happens will
Mm.
happen.
Mm.
In the mocks I used to give, I used to be like, I used to panic a lot.
Mhm.
That day I like in my mind that I won't do that. I
Mhm.
will focus on the next question which pops
Mhm.
on the screen. I
Mhm.
won't think about the sections which have gone, or the previous question which was it right or was it wrong. I promised myself that I won't do that, and I
Mhm.
did that. And I was like, I think that my GMAT was my best mock. I was really thinking like, how am I this calm? So my quants, I finished my quants, I guess, around 6 minutes before the time.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
used the 6 minutes to like review all the questions. That one question, I guess I did one question wrong. I was confused. It was not because like of something like silly mistake. So yeah, that
Mhm.
went wrong. In verbal, I finished like I guess around 30 seconds before.
Mhm.
I changed one answer, but it was still not correct. In DI, I get in verbal, I want to say it. So in my mocks, I used to never like, I used to always end up guessing the last two questions, or
Mhm.
I used to like
Mhm.
very much like I used to have literally 1 minute or 2 minutes to solve the last two questions.
Mhm.
But in mock, I had time. Like the last question, I guess I spent around 3 to 4 minutes. So
Mhm.
I guess mindset really helped me on the GMAT day. And coming to DI, so DI, when I started, I guess I got five questions wrong. One was data sufficiency, and other were I don't remember exactly what were they.
Mhm.
DI also I completed on time. DS, so I was so excited to see my score. I did not know what, or like I was confident. I was feeling confident. I was so excited to see the score. My DI section also I ended with my DI section one, I guess 1.5 minutes
Mhm.
before
Mhm.
the time limit, and I did not use it to review. I was like, I don't know what if I need to change any answers, because I was pretty confident on the questions
Mhm.
I solved. So I ended my exam, and I was so excited. Oh, I was so happy to see 685. I forgot to see what percentile I scored. I just saw the split. I just saw 685, and I just like clicked on next. Though I expected like more from me, but yeah, I was really happy with my test day experience.
Very, I think very well put, because end of the day, you delivered on the day that it mattered. Because most of the issues that we had during mocks was essentially you not believing that you had that ability to get there, right? It was all those experiences that got collected from your previous competitive exams, right? But Neha, after all the challenges with different competitive exams, you got to a phenomenal 685 in your first GMAT attempt. That is a big, big, big achievement. So take a bow, a big congratulations to you on that. So
Thank you.
tell us, how did you do it? If you had to tell in a nutshell what the key takeaways of your journey was that you want to share with others, uh, what would they be?
I guess, first of all, don't stop believing in yourself. I know it's easy to say, but like believing in yourself is the first thing you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing, I guess e-GMAT, yes, it was a really great platform. It
Mm-hmm.
really, really helped me. If I would have done it alone without using e-GMAT's help, I'm not sure if I would have got a
Mm-hmm.
685. e-GMAT's last mile push program, I guess that was very important. Like for example, e-GMAT also helped me to build. e-GMAT gives a lot of importance on error logs. I did not
Mm-hmm.
mention it before, so I got a chance to mention it right now. Put a lot of importance on error logs. That taught me to like focus on quality instead of
Mm-hmm.
quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I am solving 5 questions a day, that 5 questions should give me something to learn. Like, okay, if I'm faltering in those, like, why? Figuring out the reason why. If it was a CR question, did I not pre-think? Did I not understand the conclusion or something?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess key takeaways, I would suggest anyone who is preparing for GMAT to like, uh, e-GMAT is a really good platform with rich like content. And yeah, don't like stop believing in yourself. Everyone who succeeds has uh, met failures also. So yeah, the journey
Yeah.
is never smooth. It's up and down.
Yes, that's a very good thing to say, you know. Don't let any hurdle in your way become a
I
blockage
guess I
on your
lost your
path.
voice, Rashmi.
Uh, I can hear
uh,
you.
yeah. Now you're audible.
Okay, so that was very well put, Neha, because as you said, no path is linear. There will be obstacles, but what is important is to convert those obstacles into stepping stones to improve. So
Right.
I think that was an ideal way to end this interview, I would say. Very well put. And thank you so much for taking your time out today on a working day to do this video debrief.
No issues. Yeah. It was
And
lovely. Like I would never stop, like leave a chance meeting you.
same here. So, wishing you all the very best, Neha. I know you're working on your applications, your admissions. So, rooting for you here, wishing you all the very best for all the next steps. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rashmi.